blue thing. You know what I'm saying? They breath to start stinking now. You know, stuff that they say you like, get out of my face. You know,
Or you
because
know what?
see, let me tell you what happened in
Anyway,
let me tell you what happened in the
no.
Johnson
So,
household.
but wait a minute, just being in close quarters.
Yeah.
I mean, you love everybody, you
Right.
love your spouse, you love your kids, but sometimes when you're in close quarters, or even in some of you got even larger quarters, but you can't really go anywhere. Little things start kind of getting under your skin, and all of us,
Like
all
this
of us,
weekend.
whatever, all of us have our ebbs and our flows,
Like this
right?
weekend. So this
but
weekend,
we're on our way to work.
What
We're
was
in the car.
Was it Ev? It was an Ev.
As much as I love this little smiling face, I said, I'm going to have to get him.
I'm telling you, man. So, like I said, it's inevitable. You're going to have
Some
an
disagreements.
argument, disagreement. It's inevitable.
And
it's going to happen.
Right now, with everything that's going on, whether it's with your job or you're trying to learn how to, help your kids with their remote learning, it's just a lot. People are under a lot of pressure. You're listening. You got the news reports coming in. They're telling you, you got to stay within your home. You might go walk just a little bit. Or if you do have to venture out and go to the store, it feels pressure just going in the grocery store. It's stressful. So sometimes, all of that is inevitable that you're going to have some disagreements or some heated moments.
Right. So let's talk about how to get through this.
How do you fight fair?
How do you fight fair?
How do you fight fair?
In marriage. Number one.
Listen, George. Y'all, I've been preaching that.
Listen.
That's the only reason I agreed to do this topic today. I said, because they'll minister to his spirit.
Yes.
20-some years. Just listen. Sometimes we're waiting to talk. Now, I love him to pieces. But my husband, one of his gifts is he's very good at speaking, so he can come up with stuff real fast. It take me a second. And I'll be like, don't be on ready. Don't be on ready. Some of us are always on ready.
Right.
Before your spouse can get it out, you already got to come back. You're not listening.
So are you listening or are you waiting to speak? And in my case, sometimes
he be on ready.
I can be waiting to speak. I'm waiting for my turn.
You have relatives on the broadcast that probably can testify that you are on ready.
So sometimes I'm waiting for my chance, my opportunity to speak, and I'm not listening. And my wife, she always tells me, she said, honey, listen to what I'm saying.
Let your spouse get it out. And he always, he gets at me because he says I'm long-winded. But it takes me a minute to articulate because I like to put all the pieces together. And so if your spouse is the type of person get all the pieces together, give them an opportunity. And then if you're the one that's on ready, maybe before you jump out, really think about what you say because once you put it out, you can't take that back.
And one of the things you got to understand is and I know what you're going through, if you're one of those persons that are waiting to speak, you ready to get your point across. I know what you're thinking. You're
Write
thinking
it down.
You're going to forget your point.
You're not going to forget.
You're thinking, I'm going to forget. I'm going to forget what I'm going to say. So instead of doing it, what you should do like I do, put it in your phone or maybe just write a little note so you won't forget it. You think you're going to forget, but it is important to make sure that you listen and not wait to speak. Now, here's how you know that you're listening.
Okay.
Repeat what the person just said.
Repeat it back.
Repeat it back.
Not in a smart way, but you can even parent.
Now, you're right, Kim. Not in a smart way.
Not in a smart. No, I heard what you said.
Right.
No, that's not. But repeat it back or paraphrase it because sometimes we think we heard what the person said, but we haven't always heard it.
Right.
And I'll say this because one of the things I teach as a professor is organizational behavior and communication. And if you break down communication, the three parts of communication are your verbal, your vocals, which is your tone and all of that, and your body language.
My short.
Oh, goodness. And those three components, and of that message, the words that you say has the least bearing on the message. People are going to listen more to the vocals and to your body language.
Right.
So repeat it. Make sure that the person got it. Make sure that they understand. And you might realize if you actually listen that you didn't really capture all of what your spouse was trying to say.
So let's role play so I can show people what that means. Because when you're saying repeat what they're saying, they may be thinking, because it's all in the tone.
It's all in the tone.
It's all in the action.
It's all in the body language.
You don't want to be like my wife. My wife, she's from the hood. So she talk like this sometimes.
I'm from the good part of West End.
She started talking like this. She gets about it now. She gets about it.
I do not.
So this is how you repeat what the person said. You say, now let me get this straight.
No, you don't say. Don't say that. Let me get this straight.
No, I mean seriously, because you know you got. Let's put it in real. Now you ain't gonna be like you debating. You know, it's no debate. You know, it's heated. You know, it's heated. We're arguing here, and it's heated. So I'll tell you, listen. Let me get this straight.
Watch the hands, though.
You're saying, and repeat everything that you heard, because you could have heard the wrong thing. And if sometimes because stuff is filtered, on what you're saying.
Because sometimes it's filtered because we already got some things in our mind. And when the person repeats it, if they say, well, no, that's not what I'm saying, then give them an opportunity to re-say it. Don't say, well, no. Just give them a chance. Give them a chance.
All right, number 3.
Number 3. Avoid contentious remarks or over analyzing. Some of us got some smart mouths.
Right.
Some of us got some smart mouth, and it's not going to help the situation.
No, it's not.
It's not. If you say words that you know are cutting words, feisty words, if you've been married for any length of time, I've been married to my husband, what is it, 20 years?
21.
It'll be 21 years next month in May. I know what his little points are. I know the things that I could say that will really set him off. And if you've been married for any length of time, if you've been in a relationship for any length of time, you know. And some of us are purposely saying things that we know will cut the other person.
And here's the thing, guys. The reason we're saying that, look, I'm not saying because nobody likes to get in an argument, then there's no perfect way to argue or anything like this. We're telling you to avoid contentious remarks because what that does is it'll build something else in your relationship, which is called strife.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. You don't want, although the argument may be over, you've laid a seed of bitterness.
Or just sarcasm.
Or resentment, or you've laid that seed there. Now all of a sudden, the enemy begins to water that seed. And something that was minute, something that was small, something that you could have gotten over easily, now all of a sudden it's this huge thing and you can't get over it. You can't move past it. And what's going to move to one of our next points is stop arguing against ghosts. We call it arguing against ghosts. When you argue against ghosts, is you bringing up something that happened a long time ago. I can't defeat the ghost, okay? Yes. Let's deal with the situation that's right now.
Right here,
Let's deal with the situation that's right here, right now. But if you're not contentious and you're trying to do things to try to provoke and perk and prod that person, some of us just need to grow up.
We need to grow up. And like you made a very good point. Let's deal with the right now. Some of us are what I call good accountants in our relationships.
Yeah.
Now, in general, you want a good accountant. But in a marriage, a good accountant, that means you keep track of every little thing. That's not good. Every little thing. Every little thing. You just got to, every little thing. Sometimes you got to let some things go.
Stop keeping score.
Keeping score.
You don't want to keep score in a marriage. Don't want to keep score. When I played basketball, we used to play a game called 21. Everybody kept their own score. We didn't have a scoreboard. You got this, you got this. But you knew what everybody had because no more than 5 or 6 people playing the game. But you knew what everybody had at the table. You don't want to keep score in a marriage. Well, you did this last time, I did that last time. You went here last time. You don't ever want to keep score.
I thought the chicken last week. I ain't touching it.
You don't want to do that.
Stuff. Okay, the other thing, and I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, is tone. Tone. That was one of our biggest things when we first got married.
Because her tone.
No, my tone is wonderful.
She get up and when she started doing her hands like that, and you know how women
do. If I do my hands like that, you'd have pushed me.
When a woman starts in that neck, like what is wrong? Why do you have to do your neck like that?
Anyway, one of our biggest things, just married for years, I used to always say, and I joke, I said, my husband comes, he coached football for many years. He comes from a line of ministers, Pentecostal ministers. So he speaks with a lot of passion, football coaching. He speaks with a lot of passion. He has a lot of volume. And I had to tell him early on, I was like, it's not what you say. It's how you say what you say. Sometimes you could say the right words, but if your tone isn't right or you say it, it's as if you didn't even say the right words. So you got to be careful about your tone.
So if you know you're one of those people like I was, I have a tone, and I got a tone, and I'm gonna say it this way, and sometimes you need to filter it. Okay?
You got to filter it.
You need to filter your statement. So you have to say, okay, how do you process it in your mind and play it back in your mind how it would sound. Okay. If I say it this way, I know the Bible says this. It says, husband, deal with your wife according to knowledge. Okay. If you know, okay, if I say it this way, it's gonna hurt her. If I say it this way, it's gonna provoke her. You know that. You ain't no idiot. and you have self-control. See, what gets me with people is that like they don't have self-control. They have self-control everywhere else.
You don't go to work.
But in their home.
You don't talk to your boss like that. And let me say this, because sometimes I know we have different personalities. One of my sons reminds me, he has a personality like he has that passion when he speaks. But again, like my husband said, you have to know how to adjust it, because you're not going to go to work and talk like that. You're not going to do that in other arenas. So you have to work on that. And I'm working with him, my son. I have to tell him, I said, wait a minute, you need to take a little energy out of what you just said, right, and restate that, because I know you didn't mean for it to come off to your mommy the way that it came off. So you have to watch that. Avoid threatening body language.
That's what I was talking about with that neck. See, it's that neck. When the neck start turning, you know what I'm saying?
Or you start walking up on folks.
Wait. We're not finna fight now.
You walking up on people?
It's getting crunk.
You walking up. You act like you putting your hands down like you reaching for something.
I mean, it's getting real now. No. Listen, we're adults.
We're adults, y'all.
Nobody's about to get arrested and go to jail.
Have a job to go back to. Don't get picked up doing the quarantine.
And you really think about it, no argument is that serious enough.
Exactly.
For you to feel like you have to threaten somebody with your body language. Listen, the Bible says this. The Bible says a man that cannot control himself is like a city without walls. What that means is anything can come in and out of your life. It's amazing to me. I talk to a lot of men, and I said, listen, man, you don't use profanity at your wife. Mm-hmm. You use a profanity, and you walk, you got all this boisterous stuff. You trying to punk your wife? What kind of man would try to punk their wife? We got a word for that, and I can't say it. I really want to say it.
Don't say it.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Use your imaginations. They're going to use their
imagination. I really want to say what we call
Don't encourage him.
They're trying to punk women.
Don't give high fives on the screen. Don't do it.
I really want to say, you ain't trying. Who you trying? You trying to punk your wife?
The people get it.
You trying to punk your child?
No.
You don't have to do that.
No,
you don't have to turn up like that. You are weak. You are weak.
And
because the Bible says this, a man that cannot control himself is like a city without walls, which means anything can come in and out of your life.
And
you wonder why your life is a roller coaster, is up and down, up and down, up and down. You don't have no self-control.
Exactly.
Go ahead, honey.
And you hit the bottom line. I was going to say, if you have to get into all of that, then there's some other issues that you need to deal with. There's some other root causes. The other thing is building fences.
Build fences. Now, we have what we call don't go to area.
It's just certain areas you shouldn't go.
Build fences.
Like we were saying, we've been married, it'll be 21 years in May. I know the things that I could say that will cut my husband down. I don't need nobody to tell me. I know what his areas are. He knows my area. He knows the areas that I'm sensitive in, or that, he just knows what he could say that could cut it down. But there's certain things that you just shouldn't go.
Yeah.
You just shouldn't go
there.
So
for an example, when we're talking about building fences, the name calling. Guys, you're adults. Children call each other names, not adults.
Well,
years ago, my wife and I,
I thought you could say I called you, and I said, I ain't call you no name now.
My wife and I, we were in a shoe store, and not the Galleria.
No, it wasn't. Where were we?
We was in the mall. I can't remember what mall we were in. We were buying some shoes.
It was the mall that almost took our relationship out.
And so she was trying on some shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I said a statement really low to her.
It was not low. My husband is loud.
But
y'all know him.
He's pierced her heart. And I didn't mean
anything. It pierced my heart because everybody in the shoe department started laughing.
I didn't mean anything.
You can tell them what you
said.
I mean, it is what it is.
I did not mean anything negative about that statement. I just was I was observing. And I just said, honey, that shoe makes your foot look like this. And I just made a statement.
Loudly.
If I'm arguing with my wife, we're talking about fences. If I was to refer back to that just to hurt her, that's offense. I've crossed the line. And some of us in a relationship, guys, you're crossing the line. Exactly. You should not get into name calling. You should not say things, because some stuff hurts back to a person's childhood. It goes all the way back to a person's childhood. Look, okay, I'm a little thick right now. I already know that. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm trying to walk. I'm not walking that much, but but I am trying to work on what I eat. But if a person's grown up fat their whole life.
The right word is heavy. I don't know if you should say.
Oh, heavy or fat or large or big their whole life. And so here you are arguing with your spouse, and you sit there, you call them a fat. I've heard men say this. They call their wife a fat ass.
George.
I've heard men say that.
Okay, all right.
Why would you say that to your wife?
Yeah, that's true.
Let's just be real. I've heard men say this. Tear their wife down. Tear their self-esteem down. I've heard wives say things that have just ripped all of his confidence away from him. Guys, you have to build fences.
Yeah. And not only that, but even if you're having a disagreement, my husband and I, we've had, like everybody else, we've had disagreement over the years, but we don't purposely say things that we know that's going to cut the other person. Right. That you don't need to do that. We don't purposely say things that's going to tear the other person down.
And listen, if you know you're getting there, because we're all human, we're all human. You're not anger proof. Mm-hmm. When you get backed against the wall,
it's time to go to timeout.
And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You feel that temperature's rising. That song, we won't celebrate him anyway. But when you feel your temperature going up, and you know I'm at a point right now when I'm really about to say something, you have the power to shut it off.
Shut it off.
And what you need to do is
take a break from each other.
Hey, listen, we need to
go to the other. One person on one side of the house, you find something to work on. The other person on the other side of the house, and it's okay to give each other space.
Now, this is why I put the onus on the man, because sometimes your wife can't shut it off. Like my wife, she can't shut it off. She just can't shut it off.
That's not true.
When she turn on, it's on, baby. The valve is open.
It take a lot to get me to that point.
But it take a lot to get her to that point.
But
when she's got to that point,
if you got me to that point,
and that valve is open,
you have asked for it.
This is why I feel like the onus is on the man now. Mm-hmm. Because the Bible says you are the head of the home. You're the head.
All right.
As when you know you've come to that point, and you know your wife can't turn it off, at this point, it's time for you to just take some blows. Take some blows. Sometimes you got to take some blow. You the head.
All right.
You the leader. If you haven't gotten to that point, if you push your wife to that point where the valve is just open, hey, take some blows.
But hopefully that
but when
you don't
you
allow
come
it
back,
to get to that.
But don't allow it to get. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes it can get there. Heated conversations can get there. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, if it get there, take some blows. But then come back. And now it's time for you to take your leadership role and bring some correction. Hey, you were wrong about this. You shouldn't have said this. You shouldn't have said that. Okay? That's when it's all about being a leader. But in the heat of the moment, and temperatures are high, and you know it's on and popping, now it's not time to show your ego and your dominance in the home, and you end up tearing a hole in your home that it takes the power of God to heal. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just got to take some shots as the head, okay? Take it. When they come back, now it's time to set order. That's leadership. Mm-hmm. That's leadership, okay?
All right, and number 7, the last one is seek understanding and not the win. In a marriage, we're a team. It's not I win and you lose. So our goal should be, let's get a better understanding so we can both work together. We can both run this race. We can both move forward. Not, I got you, I'll win. It's not a competition.
Right.
And it's amazing how many couples are in competition. It's not a competition. It's let's get a better understanding so we can move forward as a team.
Because if you win at the sake of hurting someone,
then your marriage didn't
both
win.
have lost.
Exactly.
If you win at the sake of hurting someone, you both have lost. My favorite saying, if Coach Cal was on here, he'll tell you, do you want to be right or do you want to be effective?
Exactly.
Do you want to be right
or do you want to be effective?
There are times and moments to be right. Mm-hmm. There are situations, I need to be right in this situation. But then there are times and moments when you just need to be effective. Sometimes you're